Everybody, everybody go. Everybody, everybody go. Run and tell everyone you know. It's time for Talk Live Tuesday. Talk Live Tuesday. You know where we at. It's time to sip and chat. Get to the bag and tell them that tag. Talk Live Tuesday. Talk Live Tuesday. You know where we at. It's time to sip and chat. Get to the bag and tell them that tag. Get it.
You know what it is. It's your boy Tag Did It, and we are here live on Talk Live Tuesdays with Tag. I'm downtown in the loft in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have here live from LA none other than Miami. Yes, we have Miami in the building. What's good in your voice? What's going on? Listen, before we get into our interview real quick, Miami, let me shout out these businesses real quick. So y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Tag Did It. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at Tag Did It. Make sure you're following Talk Live Tuesdays on Instagram at Talk Live Tuesdays. And you're going to also make sure you're following The Lavish Hookahs on official on Instagram as well, because y'all already know I keep the hookahs in the building each and every week we're doing this show. Y'all, Sweet Life on Match. Y'all already know it's my favorite reality show. And let me tell y'all, and the reason it's my favorite, Miami, because I see you guys who look like me, who are my age, who are out here getting it, grinding, and it's so exciting to have you here with me today. So, Miami, I'm gonna let you do your little 1-2, introduce yourself, and we're gonna get this thing popping and started.
Well, I'm Myami. I am from Sweet Life, LA. It's on HBO Max. You can catch us now and hopefully in the future as well. So binge watch. 2 seasons are out. And if you want to keep up with my life outside of the show, you can follow me on a tour of Miami. The first I is a Y, because why not?
Why not? Period.
Yeah.
Miami, let me tell you. First of all, before we even get really too into this interview, I literally, this season, I want to let you know that you were the breakout star, because last season I said, oh, Miami came in, she done stirred up some stuff, she brought her presence, and then this season it was like, oh my God, from the confessionals, your green screens, I literally, everything you said, everything you did just took me out. So we're going to get right into this interview. So you're from LA, right?
I am.
You're from LA. So how was it growing up, in the city where everyone wants to live, everyone wants to move to? Like, how was that for you?
It just feels good, like a lot of people don't realize there are a lot of real ones in LA. Everything's not so superficial and on the surface. Like, we have depth to us, and I'm glad like I'm on the show to show that. Like, the real LA people, the natives, like, we don't play that. One, we're real, we're relatable, and it's kind of like what you see in me is what you see in a lot of people that are really from here, and I'm glad I get to represent like the real ones, Go
ahead. Sorry.
Go. You can go ahead.
Love that, because let me tell you, one thing I love about the show is that I get to see you guys, like you said, you see you guys and we see y'all and us, and it makes me feel good, because it's like, I be wanting to cut out my little ratchetness sometime and act a certain way, but it's just like, be you 100%, because just watching y'all lets me know, like, baby, you can do you and still be that girl. So
exactly, that girl does her 24/7. Okay.
So one of my viewers on Instagram told me to ask you, she's in media, and she said, something that you really haven't talked about on the show was like your upbringing, like your family. And she kind of hinted that, you may have been like a little wealthy or a little well off. So just speak on like your family for me. Like, tell me about, your family, and like, are you the only child? Do you have siblings? What's up?
You know what? This is the best question, because nobody ever dives into that part of me. So I love that. I was an only child until I turned 21. And then my dad, like, had kids. So like all of my siblings are kids. Like, none of them are over the age of 5. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy.
Right. So like, I was the only child for the most part. And, my parents are young, like we're only 20 years apart. And so, like, you know, as they're navigating through their 20s, they're just trying to figure things out. I actually moved in with my grandmother. So my grandmother, like, had a big part of raising me. And, you know, I'm from Ladera Heights, so it's the Black Beverly Hills, and you know how that goes.
Much. I know how that goes. I've personally never been to LA, but I do a lot of studying on LA, and I got to come out there because now I can just, I can come out there and pop my shit with you one time.
Absolutely. You like
yes.
to do I love to do hookah, so
yes. We right there with each other. Yeah. But I'm the only child now too, so I can only imagine getting to 21, getting to really start your life, and then boom, you got new siblings.
I was like, what is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a girl or boy?
Like, what is it giving?
Right, like I gotta share you. Hold on.
I have to share now. This is not okay at all. Yeah. But so on the show as well, we didn't really get to see you talk about your business. Your business is called Glisten Guru. Mm-hmm. When did you start that business? Like, how long has that been a thing?
So I started the business during COVID. You know, times were slow. You had to think about, like, how am I going to make more money, right? And LA was shut down, but it wasn't really shut down. People would have their own little parties, whatever the case may be. But, like, I noticed that people were in the house. They weren't really taking care of their teeth that well, all of that. And I was kind of like, okay, I could do this, because I was actually on a flight to Miami. I met this girl. And she was like on the phone saying like, oh, I make my own schedule, girl, so I can do whatever I want. I'm like, oh, girl, what you do? When she got off the phone. And she was just like, I whiten teeth, and I can put you up on game on how to do it because we're not from the same city, so you won't be competition. I'm like, okay, period. So she gave me the information. I went and got certified for it, and I love it. Like, when people leave my office, their self-esteem just goes up to the roof, and it just feels good. And a percentage of my proceeds goes to running water in Africa.
That's what's up. We love a humanitarian queen, period. Okay. We love that. We love that. So why didn't you really promote your business on the show, being that you started it during COVID?
I just think that it wasn't an opportunity for me to do so yet. People just needed to know me first before they got to know like what I do. So I think that like the show just wanted to focus on like actually seeing my growth with the group and like me becoming a part of the group. More so, hopefully, if we get another season, you guys get to see like the business side of me, you know, because it's not just all spice. Like, I'm about my business as well. So hopefully, you know, you guys get to see more of that, because I did not like the fact that people are like, what the hell she do? She's so damn entitled. What does she do?
Right. It's like, I was like wondering, like, okay, you like everyone else show like their little part, but I was like, you know, what are we gonna get from Myami? Like, although like I said, you were one person that I really was into, I did want to see more of that, but now I have that clarity, because I will say I'm on a YouTube web series. It's the #1 LGBTQ platform on YouTube. It's called Chasing Reality, and that was kind of my thing. Like, when I started season 3, I kind of got on, and I was a cast member, but I was like in the background. Season 4, I came on and I pretty much did the same thing. Like, I was just pretty much like, I want y'all to get to really know me. Like, outside of what I do, I want y'all to really get to know Troy. And then this season, on season 5, that was just wrapped up in May, I showed my ass and I let them know, like, you know, I gave them business, I gave them work, I gave them everything that I do throughout the season. So I hope you guys get another season, because I love it. I love it.
Yes.
So the reason we're here today, baby, we are here. Yeah, take a sip. Let's go ahead and toast real quick, because this is to Sweet Life or Max. Boom.
So, can I say one thing?
Go ahead, Eddie.
Tag did it, but Tag does it as well. Okay.
I love that. Period. So, we're here today to talk Sweet Life on Max, on HBO Max, and let me tell you, I had so many questions. I didn't know where I wanted to go, how I wanted to conduct this, because it's just so much. But I have a lot of questions about you, and I have some questions about the cast, and then we're going to go into our little hot seat. And our hot seat is about 10 seconds. You really only have 10 seconds to really answer those questions, so you're going to have to give me a quick question right back. But right now, we're going to just talk Sweet Life. So from being the girl PJ brought on the trip season 1 to now being a main cast member, someone that we see all the time. You know, how did it feel coming from last season as a friend of the show to now being a main cast?
It makes me feel like, damn, like my presence just holds that much weight. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just supposed to be in the background, not really doing too much, not really saying too much. Like, I didn't even think I was going to be mic'd up for real. So to go from that to like really being a part of the next season, it just made me realize, like, you are that girl. Like, you never have doubt in that, and just own it, you know?
Yeah. And I knew for a fact that you were going to come back as a cast member only because when I seen you sitting at that table at the group chat, I was like, oh, yeah. I said, oh, yeah, she's back next season. She's back. Like, she solidified. I already knew you solidified the spot. How has your life changed really since being on Sweet Life?
To be honest, it still feels really normal because it's kind of like, you know, LA. Well, you haven't been out here. So in LA, like, being in rooms with people that are on your favorite TV shows is like just normal. So because I'm in LA, it's like being a part of entertainment is just like a culture out here. So it doesn't feel like too far-fetched. It is an adjustment for like people to know who I am before I introduce myself, though. I'm just like, oh, okay, you got taste, you like me, I like you.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. I love it. I love the opportunities that are unfolding because of it, you know, and I just like that my name is going to become like a household name, like Myami Woods. Like, people are going to know it, talk about it. People have been quoting me every time they see me. I'm just like, you know, I love that fact that like my life, my being is having an impact on others.
Before I get into the next question, where did the name Myami come about? Like, where did your parents get that from? Because, you know, I'm from Florida. You know, Myami is 305, baby. Myami is 305. So how did that come about?
So my mom would call me like Amy, right? My middle name's Amber. So like she would be like, Amy, and then it would be like Myami. So like I belong to her. So then she's kind of like, well, the city, your name, like that's it. So like it has nothing to do with the city, but we love Miami. That's one of my favorite cities. Like if I didn't live in LA, I would live in Miami.
Miami, period. Because Florida is the place to be, definitely. So hopping back into it. Of course, last season and the things that have unfolded this season, that's in the past. But this is my first time talking to you. So how did it feel, you know, coming up onto the trip last year or last season and getting all the pushback and the shade from the girls? More so, Becky.
It was more so like, are y'all serious? Like, that's really how I felt. Like, is this really a thing? Like, is everyone being told to be this way? Like, what's tea? Like, why are you guys that upset? Because it was just a whole bunch of confusion on my part because I was genuinely PJ's friend. And I was the homegirl that you call, like, okay, like, this is about to go on. Like, we're going to turn it. We're going to have fun. And that's all it was. So it was just very confusing, the fact that they didn't know I was coming. And that was their reaction. I came with flowers.
I feel like you didn't come in problematic. And I think that, and of course we know now that it was because of you come with PJ and, you know, him not letting them know and Becky being someone that he was talking to at the time. But like, how was that for you going through that, like from last season, then having to come into this season dealing with that? Because of course, you know, you never want to drag old things into the new, but how was that maneuvering through that like situation?
It was difficult because it was something that was like a year later. So it's kind of like, you still on this timing? Like, what happened to that apology that you gave, you know, at the group chat? Like, that was just for the cameras or what? Because when I see you again, it's still the same energy. So, like, what's up? I'm one of those people that's like, what's up? What's the issue? You know? So it was very difficult because I didn't feel like I had, like, I'm always on my own in these situations, you know? So it was definitely hard to be in a room full of people that really don't mess with you like that, but you still have to hold your own and keep your head up high. And, you know, because I'm a strong person, people are like, oh, well, it's nothing. But anybody else probably would have folded. Like, people are coming at you for hours, like, weird. So it's like, you guys see a little snippet. No.
You held your own though. You held your own down,
Yeah.
and of course we're gonna get into Ride with Two B's in a minute because I got some questions about Ride with Two B's. But no, so fast forward to this season. You know, you and Becky having one of the biggest like makeups of the season. How did you think that conversation would go? Because, you know, kind of mid conversation, you did get a little spicy. You know, you was like, you know, we don't gotta have the conversation in your yard. We can have it over there if you want to. So, like, how did you feel like that conversation was gonna end? How it ended?
I honestly was shocked with how it ended, but I'm one of those people, I'm not a bully, right? So when I see somebody is in a vulnerable state, I'm not about to be like, let me poke the bear and just like, now I'm bullying you. Like, no, that would make me a hypocrite. So I'm going to hear you out, see what's really going on, because half the time when people have a problem, the problem is never really you. So I was like, you know, hearing her out, and she kind of seen me in a different light. Like, okay, she's not a mean girl like I thought she was. It's more so she's I would say that Becky is just sensitive, a very sensitive woman, and she like is learning how to express her sensitivity, you know? So like it made me kind of in a weird way like feel for her, you know, in that moment. So it was dope to like let that go, and now she's one of my favorite people, to be honest.
Yeah, like, are you guys still cool now? And but no, like I definitely agree because I think that it was to see you two black women stand there with each other and have that conversation and get that out because especially with her just opening up to you and letting you know like how she's been feeling and what she's been dealing with or what she was going through. So it was definitely good to see that moment. So you know you guys ended up going to New York, of course, which where you got the house for Thailand and the girls for how did it feel, you know, once the girls like actually embraced you to go on that trip, like when they actually, you know, extended that hand to you to be that feel?
It honestly felt great. It's kind of like, okay, now y'all get it. Like, we have no beef. Let's start over. Like, I feel like the best way to start over is in a new place. So like taking a trip with somebody, it makes you closer. You create that whole new experience, and it made me see everybody in a different light. Like, for real, you know? Because I thought everyone was boring and like all they wanted to do was sit around and have problems with one another, you know?
Did you feel blindsided when the girls? Did you feel blindsided when the girls took all the rooms and you were waiting last minute to get the room?
Absolutely. It took a lot out of me not to be like, okay, everybody, here's your suitcase. It's down those brick steps or whatever the hell they call it, brownstones.
The brownstone.
It took a lot of me not to be that way, but I'm like, it's the first day. And if I turn up how I really want to, then this vacation is over before it gets started. And I didn't want that. Like, we're trying to grow here. So I was like, I got to be the grown up here and just sweep it under the rug. We didn't come here to sleep anyways.
You were able to, I love that how adults you were about the situation, and I love that even Thailand and Amanda, when they got to the side, you know, they was just like, shout out to Myami, you know, for, you know, being a grown woman, you know, being that girl. So being that girl. So let me tell you, during that trip, you were in your confession and you was like, this is my favorite confessional, girl, the whole show. You was like, the niggas have came through. You was like, they came through it. When I tell you, as soon as you said it, I had to literally and that's the best part about watching that show. I literally had to rewind that and so many times and put it to my story because I was like, girl, she is my mood. She is my mood. What were you thinking when you see all the boys downstairs upstairs when you walked up? Because baby, you walked up, titties out, you know, legs out. Like, what was the tea?
I was ready. I was like, now this is how you turn up. Like, this is how you have fun on vacation. This is my vibe, 100%. Like, now I can kick it with y'all. This is how y'all like to go on vacations. We could do this again. Okay? Because everybody looked good.
Everybody did. Everybody slayed the entire time. So being there with Thailand to see her do her event, how was it being there for Legacy Table just to experience that with her?
It's dope to see her just expanding on the level that she's expanding. Is just crazy to witness. You know, people have not seen our friendship like that, but I've known her since I was a teenager. So it's just to see her like develop into a woman and just really be completely bossy, I'm just here for it. Like to be able to throw an event for your company on the other side of the country, you're doing amazing for yourself. And I'm glad I get to be around Black excellence, you know?
Black excellence. So on the show, you stated you were a free agent, you know, as the situation with you and AQ was going on, because we're going to get into that. But are you still a free agent and are you still celibate? Because I know you told him that you were celibate during that trip.
Oh, it's completely the same. I feel like people are not worthy. These men suck now.
Give me your body because they be so. I do believe in soul ties, and I believe like if a person is not right, then you know they saying all they negative things to you. So,
Exactly.
um, you did share dating on the show, in particular, but one in particular was AQ. Now, AQ really your type? Because I just did not see AQ for you.
You know what? That's what happens when you're single. You explore people that may not be your type. You know, it was more so him being consistent when he was like trying to date me. And I was just like, you know what? I'm at a space where I'm not even talking to anybody. Let's see what's going on. And he kind of knows the group, so it wouldn't be awkward to bring him around, you know? So I was like, let's see. But no, typically he's not like what I would go for, like at all.
Like even let me tell you, when you was telling Becky, like when you was telling Cheryl, and you was like I see Becky with dimples, like that's the type that I see for you. Like that's your type. Dimples was your type. So dimples was your type. So when you did announce that you were celibate at the table, and AQ's face kind of like you know twisted up. Like how did that make you feel watching that back? You know, seeing his reaction. Did it like did you that moment he really was just trying to get with you for the sex, or how did that make you feel?
Oh, it didn't faze me because it wasn't gonna happen either way. I don't know what the goal was, but he didn't meet it. So it didn't make me feel any way. I kind of laughed at that scene, to be honest. Like you thought.
And I really think that I don't know, like I feel like him and Marcus, I feel like I don't know, they were just really on everybody, and Marcus especially. And you know, you got in the jacuzzi with Marcus, like while AQ was over there laying down, and you was just like, you know, while he was asleep, and you was just pretty much saying like, why would I let the, you know, pretty much let this bathing suit go to waste? Like, why would I let him be in the water by himself? Would you really have given Marcus a chance, although that was AQ friend, or was you just like fooling
I
around?
was bored. Okay, I was really bored. Like it's late. Like we're in the jacuzzi. The drinks have been going all night. Like might as well.
Might as well. Might as well. And let me tell you, you told AQ, you was like, when you told AQ he had his titties out, and he you told he had his titties out, and he had that mesh shirt on. Like, how did you feel about that shirt? Like, what was that shirt giving for you, girl?
I was like, he should have been at Bree's lingerie party. That's where it should have been at.
Oh my God, Myami, yes. Like, no, he definitely should have worn that to breathe. He should have came there. Now, as we're getting off of AQ, something that did bother me during the show, that he did call you a broad. Like he just referred to you as a broad. I got so heated, but explain why you got so heated in that moment with him calling you that.
It's like it's one thing for you to address the issue, but once disrespect becomes the thing, then all bets are off. Like I don't care what you want to talk about anymore. It's over with. Like I didn't call you out of your name, so don't do that to me. Like I didn't want to talk to Senorita anymore. I was over it.
Right, and I think that black men, not even black men, just men in general, gay, straight, whatever, should have more respect for women, because I'm a woman lover. Like I am for women all across the board. So I hate to see a woman disrespected, or certain things being said about them, because you know women rule the world, honestly. And if it wasn't for a woman, he wouldn't be born. So you know,
Exactly.
you have to respect women. So you introduced someone new to the show this season. One of you call him your BB, your best bitch, Rob
Yeah.
with two B's. Um, how did you know? How did you meet Rob? Because Rob came into the scene very boom. So like, how did you like? Where do you know Rob from?
So like, Rob, he's like lit. So like I met him out, just like, one of those nights out, and we just clicked about like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. We clicked instantly. Like, and then we became inseparable, like after just being lit together. And he's just a real one. He says what's on his mind and he doesn't care how it makes you feel.
He did too much at the brunch when he met Bree and Becky. Like, do you think, because he kind of did the same thing at the table when y'all were on the trip, and he, just like me when I was watching the show, like I was kind of like, and I don't want to say over the top because everyone acts a certain different kind of way. But when I was sitting there watching, I was like, no, Rob, like because when I look at another boy, I'm just like, that's my sister, that's my brother, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, Rob, you can't get on the show acting like this. But no, did you feel like he over into that situation, or are you okay with him doing that because he's riding for you?
No, okay. So like there were moments where I'm kind of like, Rob, like don't do too much, because I want you to coexist with these people. So like he understood that, but people have to keep in mind like there are drinks flowing every time we're filming. So it's kind of like, yeah, I didn't mean to do all that, but the liquor had me doing something else. But he's really chill. He's very sweet, and I hope that you guys get to see more of Rob, because he's just one of those like, you have my friend messed up, so I'm meeting you where the last time I like seen you at. Like it's different. Like he hears, okay, we made up, but the last time that he's seen these faces, they had me so messed up. So he's just like trying to get over that.
Being that you and Becky, you guys had that conversation when y'all were at the table, but then he turned around and got to when y'all were on the trip and got to the table and pretty much said to Gerald, oh, so you're Mr. Sociopath. And I don't know, because I was like, so do you still think that that was okay, even though that he had already kind of had the conversation with Becky and Bree? Because honestly, and it's like, okay, well, we've already had this conversation. We already made sure that we're cool. You and Gerald didn't necessarily have an issue. You and Thailand were friends. So why did he feel like it was okay to just kind of bring that back, during that moment?
So what it was is like, editing is always a factor with this stuff. So basically, like I'm going around the table, I'm introducing Rob to everybody. So what he's doing is he's throwing jabs at each person as I'm introducing it. The only one that aired was the Gerald situation. So I'm laughing because I feel awkward. And I do that sometimes. Like I'll laugh out of feeling awkward, but no, I did not condone that. And people think that, oh, I was talking behind Gerald's back and about the situation. But the reason why Rob was like Mr. Sociopath is because when we were in the store with Cheryl, when we were trying on bathing suits, you remember she was bringing up that conversation, like sociopath thing. So he's like, oh, he's the type to like, say you have your hookah business. So he'll be like, oh, so you're Mr. Hookah, So
Okay.
it was
Okay.
like putting a name to the face, but he was lit. So he's kind of like in the back of his mind, like, I just really call this man Mr. Sociopath.
Right. Yeah. It was big because like it literally shook me. Like I think that was probably one of the most cringing moments for me, because I was just like, I didn't want him and Jared to get into it. I didn't want it to like be fighting, anything like that. Now one of my people on my page as well, because I did post to my story questions for you. Someone did ask, you said that's your ride or die, but when he was getting ready to get sent home from the trip, everybody kind of was like laughing and saying bye, get out, get out, get out. They want to know, why didn't you, pretty much defend him or just like come to his defense, like, hey, he has something really going on, like it's kind of rude. Because Gerald was just like, yeah, get out, like da 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 da, like They want to know, like, why didn't you technically, like, come to his defense or defend him?
So I did, but that just didn't make it on TV. But like I got into like a little bit of a, I guess, disagreement with people. I was kind of like, when he's in you guys' face, y'all don't have all this energy. Everyone's as quiet as a mouse, and it's as silent as a library. But then when he's not here, and now it's like, get out, blah blah blah, or you know he's about to walk off the door. Now y'all got all this energy. So I did say something. I did address people, but it just didn't make it on TV. Yeah.
So fast forward going to like towards the end of the show. Of course, your girl Becky and PJ, shared a kiss and they were, rekindling things. How did it like? Did it make you feel a way knowing that they got back together or started back conversing? And your issue with her stemmed from PJ.
Yeah. To be honest, no, because it was a one-sided beef. Like, she had the issue with PJ. Now that she sees that me and PJ are nothing more than just friends, it was kind of like, okay, now y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. That's y'all's business. Like,
Right.
now that me and you are good and you see that me and him are just good, like, I don't like this for you because I feel like you are not growing. You're kind of reverting a little bit. But I think that it was just fun and flirty for her. I don't see it going anywhere past that, but who knows?
Because look, I commented on her picture the other day because she said, she took a picture and she said, they love to see this smile. And I was like, girl, I'm hoping it's a PJ smile. And she commented back to me and she was like, oh, no, I was smiling at my sister taking a picture. I screamed because I was like, girl, I'm like, where is the reunion? Where is the group chat? Where is whatever it's going to be? Because I'm sick of what, listen, when y'all dropped those last couple episodes, I was just like, no, like that, because the last episode just took me to the left. But I just want to ask this one question as well. Like, do you feel like the girls begin to hold Thailand accountable closer to the end of the show versus of what they've done prior to? Because of course we know during the show, Thai did come off this season because Thailand's one of my favorites too. I love that she's a boss chick. But like, do you feel like she's now taking more accountability for the things that she's done or said more now than she did before?
I definitely think that she is. I feel like she is growing into who she is as a person, and she wants to make sure like her foundation with those around her is solid. So she's going and fixing any error that she may have like come across with her friends. And I think that she's being very accountable. Like, she's turning over a new leaf with a lot of her friends. And I don't know, like, as I was watching it, I was kind of confused on why people were trying to paint her as this villain role, because she's really not. She's far from that, you know?
No, I agree. I think at the beginning, I kind of like, I will say I kind of like misjudged her at the beginning of this season because just to see how she was acting. But then when she sat down and did her therapy session with Jay, I was just like, wow, like to know that she had to deal with such trauma early on in her life, and just as a woman, as a girl, to go through the trauma that she went through. It's just like, okay, I can now see, like, where some of this aggression or where some of this pain and this hurt is coming from. So I definitely agree. So with Myami being on Sweet Life on Max, like, where do you want to take your career while being on the show, or even just after the show?
So while being on the show, I definitely want to expand like my own business. Like, hopefully I can incorporate it a little bit more and have people more aware of the importance of, making sure your grill is right. That's one of the first things people notice, like, when they interact with you. So I hope I spread awareness about that, like just keeping yourself together in every manner when it comes to beauty. But also like just leaving my mark on people is like my number one goal. If I walk away from the situation, leaving my mark and saying things that will live in people's head forever, I feel like I did my job. But like recently, I've grown interest in acting, low key. It's like random.
I can see you doing that though. Like, you have the personality, you have the face, you have just the
Thank
like
you.
the aura. Like, I'm telling you, like, I literally, you would like this season, like, soon as I finished it off, I was like, gotta DM her, like, gotta get in her comments and be like, look, check your DM because I needed to talk to you because I literally felt me through you. Like, you were one of the most relatable characters, I feel like. Not even characters, but cast members on the show. So, I definitely think that you can definitely pull off an acting gig, baby. I can see you walking the red carpet at the Golden Globes or at the Oscars or something, getting an award, honey.
Okay, as long as I got a fine date to escort me on the.
Period. So, do you see yourself dating anytime soon, or is there anybody that you're interested in currently?
Definitely see myself dating very soon. Seriously, who knows? You know me. One day I
Right.
like you,
Yeah.
next I'm just kidding. You know.
Next day you just kidding. You just like, oh, girl, this is for fun.
It was cute. I just wanted to see if I could bag you, but nah.
Period. You just gotta see if you still got it sometimes.
You know, it's an ego boost.
It's very much an ego boost. So we gonna hop right into our hot seat. So the hot seat is just a couple questions. And during those questions, you're gonna give me the first thought that comes to your mind. So once I read the question, it's gonna be like, like I need, like girl, I need the answer. And some of the questions may feel a little, you know, but I still want you to answer. You think it's a little shady, but it's okay. We know it ain't no real tea over here. We know them your girls and your boys. So the hot seat is starting right now. Okay, so who is your favorite cast member on the show?
Candace.
Were you and Sherelle cool because she wasn't as close as other girls, or was it just a genuine friendship?
No, genuine. Oh, just one answer, one word answers. Okay, perfect.
One answer. You can just say it's genuine. What's the first thing you look at on a man that makes him attractive?
Lips.
Sound bad. I'm much more of a smile kind of guy, hand kind of. I look at your hands. Who was your least favorite cast member from the season?
AQ.
Do you think Bree overreacted when letting go of Patiri?
Damn. No.
No. Okay. I'll take that. And do you think Ty took too long to apologize to Gerald?
Damn. You asking the right questions. No. I ain't trying to get in trouble with nobody. He was on God's title, like Caitlin said.
No. I'm screaming so bad. No, I agree. Now, I'm not going to say I agree because I do think it took a little too long with them being as close as they were. But, you know, everyone does things on their own time. And that's like, you know, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So are you a lover or a fighter?
Lover, believe it or not.
Yeah. Okay. Do you... As far as guys, like, are you into like stocky guys? Are you into fit guys? Are you into like, you know, he can have a little, I like to call it a little dope boy fudge. What is it?
All of the above.
All of them. So, do you really have a type?
I don't. I have a type of personality that I'm attracted to.
It's not just like the nigga, it's the personality.
It's the personality, and if you're well kept, you got to be well kept, no matter the size. Okay, well kept.
Size, okay, well kept everywhere. Period. So, and as we go to our next subject after the hot seat, so I like to do a question of the week. And my question of the week this week is because we are living in a time now where people are dating not more so for are dating current day all about money. Do you think society has made it now to where it seems like women are gold diggers, or do you feel like it's proper to want more money, or do you feel like it's proper for women to want to be with a man with money?
I understand why women want to be with men with money. and society has made it that way, you know. But shit, I'm siding with society right now because I want to be with men too. You know, like I could do bad on myself, baby.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but you don't
Yeah.
have to be Diddy. Just be able to add to what I got going on. You know.
I think 'cause for me, I think it's more so. I think it's more so where now in the world they're promoting women. Women are so much more bosses now. So I feel like women are now looking for men that either equivalent to them. And every man, a woman, you may be making six figures, but the guy that you're dating may not be making six figures. And I hate that that's a factor now because if you get the guy with six figures and he may treat you like shit. He may treat you piss poor, but then you may get with the guy that maybe making that 75K a year or maybe making that 60K a year and he will treat you like gold and go out of his way to do everything for you. So I don't know. I think we're moving in different times now, and I don't know. Like I think I'm a traditional dater. Like I'm a old school. Like I want to get to know you. I want to date you. You know, and then we see where it goes. But I ain't worried. You know, I don't need me a basketball player. All I need is somebody that's down for me. Yeah, yeah. I need
Okay.
somebody that's down for me. But no. So as we get ready to end our show, I my guests give my audience some kind of inspiration. And when I say inspiration, you can just talk about where you are now, where you've come from, and what people that are around you. Because I think that we as Black people don't really we always trying to tell people, oh, I got out here and got out of the mud like you should too. But I think we should definitely encourage each other and help each other get there. So just give my audience a little bit of encouragement of just life in general.
So one thing that I live by is thoughts become things. Be kind to yourself. Be kind with your thoughts because anything that you think can happen will happen. So just through the most hard times in your life, stay positive. A positive mind attracts positive experiences, and it's just kind of like it's not about where you're at, it's where you're going, but enjoy the present because there's no time like right now, you know.
I needed to hear that because I'm such an overthinker. And
Mm.
my one of my colleagues literally gave me. I literally just bought a book the other day, and it's called "The Thought of the Subconscious Mind." And
Mm.
so I really am, working on that. I'm working on being better and not being an overthinker because, like you said, thoughts become what the present becomes what your life and how your life is living like how you're living your life. So I definitely agree on that, and I appreciate that. I need to hear that. I definitely need to hear
Yes.
that. But Myami, first of all, before we go,
Uh-huh.
I really want to say thank you because when we see people on platforms like yours. We know it's hard to get in touch with. We know a lot of people get there and don't want to respond or want to take the time out to do things like this. But I really want to say thank you for taking the time out all the way across the country to sit down and talk with me today because literally, you are literally one of my favorite people on the show, and I think that this show has the potential to do so much because it encourages and it shows so many young Black people that even being an entrepreneur, like even with Rob, Amanda's boyfriend, working at the school and teaching while he's on TV, like it shows us like you can still keep going in the midst of pursuing your dreams. So I want to give a big shout out to y'all, you and the cast. And thank you so much for sitting down with me today because it really means a lot. And when you come to Atlanta, girl, we got to link up, or I just might need to go ahead and get me a flight to LA because my man a flight attendant so I can get a buddy bag.
Oh, okay. Love that one. Okay.
We love that one, honey.
My best friend lives in Atlanta, so I will be out there next month. Mm-hmm.
Hit me up. We can definitely link up and do a couple of things. I can listen. I got the vibes. Okay.
Show me the vibes. That's what
I got the vibes. Yes.
Okay.
Y'all already know what it is, y'all. It's your boy Tag Did It, and we are ending our show tonight with Sweet Life One Max cast member Myami Wood. I want to shout out Myami again. Shout out to Sweet Life One Max, and shout out to just being black and motherfucking excellent, baby. I love you. Thank you so much again, and we're gonna talk soon.
Okay, boo. Thank you.
I'll talk to you later, baby.
Okay,
talk to you later. Bye.
You know where we at. It's time to sip and chat.